Hello everyone, Chris Profi, Musically Obsessed. It is Sunday evening. I always get to this point on the weekends and I'm like, I need another day. But then I think to myself, actually, no, that's not good. I need to have a mission and motivation and a purpose. So I'm going back to work tomorrow, and you know what? It's going to be good. Because I know if I'm not working and I'm home, I get lazy, and then I want to spend money and eat. So it's good to be working. Couple things. This is my third, is it my third one? Fourth video, I think, on my cassettes. And there's a couple things I want to talk about before I do that. It's funny watching yourself on a video because you catch yourself saying mistakes that you didn't hear yourself doing live. So I watch my videos sometimes, I'm like, why did I say that? That's the wrong thing. I didn't mean to say that. And sometimes I don't even realize exactly what I said. Well, I was watching the video from the other day, and I was talking about this Deep Purple album, made in Europe. And I was going through the members, and I said David Gilmour on vocals. I meant David Coverdale, of course. So for any of you who caught that the other day, I just caught it. But yes, David Coverdale on vocals for Deep Purple. So sorry about that. The other thing I mentioned the other day was my first concert I ever went to was Poison Tesla. I told you guys I still had the t-shirt. Well, I was at my parents' house today, and look what I got. Dug it out. Poison. And this was the Open Up and Say Ah tour. And that's the back. No tour dates, but still pretty cool. This is an extra large. It's gonna fit eventually again. Not right now though. But I thought that was pretty cool. All right, so enough of the chitter chatter. Let's go through the last little groups of these tapes. And I've been getting some nice positive comments about tapes and cassettes. And I think the one thing is it's nostalgic. It's reminiscent of your old, you're reminded of your old days, and it's retro. So you're looking back and just remembering where you were when you listened to some of these cassettes. So I think it's cool. So I've been getting a lot of cool comments. So thank you for all those. All right. So Rat, Dancing Undercover. Such a great cassette. This has Dance on it, One Good Lover, Slip of the Lip, Body Talk. I like the second side too, 7th Avenue, Take a Chance, Enough is Enough. This came out in 1986 on Atlantic. As I said yesterday, I'm a big Rat fan. Stephen Pearcy just has the perfect vocals for this band. Skid Row, Slave to the Grind. What a heavy, heavy album. 1991 on Atlantic. I mean, Monkey Business, Slave to the Grind, Quicksand Jesus, Living on a Chain Gang, In a Darkened Room, Riot Act, Mud Kicker. This is just a heavy, heavy cassette. Skid Row was basically telling you, you know what? We can do the ballad thing. We can hang with Def Leppard, Winger, Poison, but you know what? We can kick you in the teeth too. I saw Sebastian Bach open for Twisted Sister. This was a while ago, and he was solo. He wasn't in Skid Row. I tell you, that guy is an awesome frontman. He's tall, like he just commands the stage, and his vocals are just amazing. This next cassette, I remember specifically listening to this with my friend in his bedroom. Slaughter, Stick It To Ya. Such a great band. This was a huge album too, 1990. So this was the tail end of the whole hair metal thing. You know, Eye to Eye, Up All Night, Fly to the Angels. Just a great cassette. This definitely brings back memories. I have the follow-up to this as well on CD. I'm drawing a blank on what it's called, but Slaughter, very good. Now, next. I don't know anything about this tape. And I don't know if I ever told you guys, but these cassettes have come from eBay over the last couple months, and I've just never had a chance to show them. So some of these bands I bought in a lot, and I don't know anything about them, but I'm interested to listen to them. This is one of those bands I don't really know anything about. Spread Eagle. Any Spread Eagle fans out here? This actually has the this actually has the hype sticker on the back. It says, Spread Eagle are from New York. They are noise. They are brilliant. They are rude. They are unrepressed. They are real. It includes Switchblade Serenade, Scratch Like a Cat, Through These Eyes, Broken City. MCA Records, 1990. So again, that whole tail end of the 90s thing. This is what the inside looks like. Any Spread Eagle fans out there? Ray West on vocals. I don't know. I'm sure I'm going to like him though. Very cool. I showed this cassette in another video of mine. I think I did. But I don't know too much about these guys either. Tangier. This is their album Stranded, 1991. On Atco. So, you know, I have a feeling it's more blues-based. But if anybody knows anything about Tangier out there, let me know. Well, a couple other ones I'm not sure about. Trouble Tribe? You guys ever heard of these guys? This came out on Chrysalis Records in 1990. It's funny, these are all the 1990 bands. These are all the bands that sort of, like I said, this was the last ditch effort of these record companies to, you know, let's get as much money out of this genre as we can before it just crumbles. And as we know, a couple of years later with grunge, these bands were just, nobody wanted anything to do with them. But Trouble Tribe, never listened to them. I'm sure I'm going to like it though. Here's another one. Oh, these T bands. Tough. This is an album called What Comes Around Goes Around. This is actually, oh, it's a promo copy. A little promo on the cover there. Promo stamp. This came out on Atlantic in 1991. So again, another one of these 1990, 1991 bands. They look pretty tough though. Good name to choose. Looking for who the vocalist is. Stevie Rachel, maybe? Is the vocalist? I'm not sure. I've never heard of these guys before. So if there are any Tough fans out there, send me some love. Send me some love. Ugly Kid Joe. America's Least Wanted. Mercury Records, 1992. I remember Ugly Kid Joe. Cats in the Cradle. Remember their cover of that? So these guys kind of were a mixture of sort of, you know, hard rock, heavy metal, some punk mixed in there. I was never a huge Ugly Kid Joe fan, but it's kind of cool to have a cassette of theirs. Oh, let's represent the women. of metal, Vixen. And this is self-titled. Edge of a Broken Heart, I Want You to Rock Me, Crying, American Dream, Desperate. These chicks could rock. I tell you what, I think I saw them walking around my junior high school when I was that age. That's what the girls look like in junior high, actually. Teased up hair. Vixen's good, though. I haven't listened to Vixen in a while. I believe I have this on CD. And cassette, too. I've shown this before, I think. Voivod, Dimension Hatros. I don't know if it's pronounced Hatros or Hatros, but it doesn't matter. This album's awesome. This is a Canadian pressing on a black cassette. I don't know if I told you, well, I know I've told the story, but if you've heard it before, I apologize. This tape and Slayer South of Heaven were two of like the more heavier albums that I listened to as a kid. And I remember just being totally blown away by this. Nobody sounded like Voivod. And nobody still does. They're just a great band. Piggy on lead guitars. You ever heard of that band Warrant? Love this album, Cherry Pie. I like their first album, Dirty Rotten, Filthy Stinkin' Rich as well. But this is a great album too. This came out in Columbia, 1990. I mean, you know, for this album, the songs were a little bit more polished. You know, Warrant always sort of had kind of a country vibe to them. Listen to them again and you'll hear what I mean. Janie Lane sort of had like maybe even a little bit of a country vibe to his vocals. I mean, this is great. Cherry Pie, Uncle Tom's Cabin, I Saw Red, Bed of Roses, Love in Stereo, Blind Faith, Mr. Rainmaker, Train. You know, you couldn't get away from that song, Cherry Pie. That was just a great song. Here's an underrated band for me. White Lion. White Tiger's coming up next. White Lion Pride. This album is awesome. I have the first album too before this called Fight to Survive. I liked Big Game that followed this album, and then I also liked the album after that called Main Attraction. But Vito Bratta, guitar, Mike Tramp, vocals. This album from top to bottom is awesome. Nobody sounded like White Lion. Hungry, Lonely Nights, Don't Give Up, Sweet Little Lovin', Lady of the Valley, Wait, All You Need Is Rock and Roll, Tell Me, which is one of my favorite songs, All Join Hands, When the Children Cry. I mean, this is just classic. Atlantic Records, what year? 1987. That was a good year, right? White Lion Pride. And here's the other white animal band, White Tiger. Never listened to these guys, but I want to tell you, I looked at the back here. Mark St. John is on lead guitar. Mark St. John was in Kiss for a little bit, I believe, for the Animalize album. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this was Mark St. John's. But what year did this come out? EMC Records, 1986. So was this pre-Kiss or post-Kiss? You guys tell me. I can't remember when Animalize came out. But you know what? I've never really listened to White Tiger before. Rock Warriors, Love Hate, Bad Time Coming, Runaway. Who else is in the band? David Donato, lead vocals. Michael Norton, bass. Brian James Fox, drums. I'm not sure. But like I said, Mark St. John, who was in Kiss, and I believe the Animalize album, he was in this band, White Tiger. And the last one I'm going to show you, you know, these guys get a bad rap. But I got to give some love to Kip Winger. And this album's awesome. I also like their album Pull, which has more of a grunge sound to it. Kip Winger came to a local theater near me about a year ago, and I should have gone to see him because that guy, he's a great singer. I think he's an awesome songwriter, great guitar player. Plays some keyboards as well, some bass. Say what you want about Winger, say what you want about Kip Winger, but the guy is I feel like he's great. I mean, this album, Madeleine, Hungry, 17. They do a version of Purple Haze on here. Headed for a Heartbreak. I like the follow-up to this as well. What was that album called? I see the cover, but I can't remember the title. So those are my metal cassettes. Hard rock and heavy metal cassettes. Listen, I don't seek out cassettes. When I find them, or if I can get a good deal on them, I will buy them. It's definitely a retro thing for me. It brings back memories of a kid. I even remember sometimes, and call me crazy, but I remember sometimes you get a brand new cassette and it had a sort of a smell to it. It was almost like a corn chip smell. Do you guys remember what I'm talking about? So you hear those things and you open up the flaps of a cassette and it just brings back those memories. You're a kid again. And it's a cool feeling. That's what music can do. So listen, thanks for watching. I was happy to kind of show you my hard rock and heavy metal cassettes. I love the stories you guys are telling me. And I'm coming at you next week with some more videos. So, you know what? As I always say, enjoy the rest of your day and listen to music. All right. Enjoy.